Hi crafters and welcome. So we're going to finish up doing a card with the Pretty Poinsettia bundle. I am going to grab out, let me see if I actually have one, a card base. Alright, I don't have a card base, so let's just do a panel for right now. So here is a white panel, and I am going to focus on the stamps because you'll see from my examples that I've done quite a few of my my two examples with the die cuts. Sorry, it's very early in the morning. I didn't have a good night of sleep. Anyway, so we're going to focus on using the stamp sets. So I am going to focus on this, and we're going to make a background with this stamp. All right, so let me grab out one of my blocks that's a little bit bigger than the stamp itself. Let me go over here. And I don't have that quite centered. Hang on. There we go. All right, now since this is a solid block, maybe, yeah, you know what? Since it's solid and it's newer, I'm going to use my stamp positioner. All right. Just because we know we can move that paper around underneath there from the stamp positioner and we'll be all right. So I am going to put this down in the corner. And I'm going to put a few, I'm not going to do any magnets for right now. How about that? Because what we're going to do is we're going to be moving this around. So what I will do is I will put a little bit of temporary tape. Oops, sorry, this is above where my camera is. So I'm going to be getting a little movement here as I rip a piece off. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and put this down. So this will help keep my card in place as well as using those corners there. All right. So now let's go ahead and we're going to start off a little off center. We'll pick it up. We're going to start with our lightest color first. That's going to be Barely Blush. This is our new magnetic stamp pads. So let's go ahead and put some color on there. Make sure it stamps good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to move this underneath there. So let's see. So let's go ahead and do one there. We'll leave that as a really light. Let's see. Let's go ahead and move it like this. So we'll get some just barely up in that corner there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of color there. All right, that looks good. Let's put it up against here now. And let's do just one more up in that corner. Now that I know that this is stamping good, I'm going to transfer it over to the block now. I was just a little worried since it is a solid stamp and it is a newer stamp that I wasn't going to get a good impression. So now that I know that it's working okay, let's go ahead, grab that off. We'll put it back on the block. Let's put all of these back on the magnetic surface here and put this off to the side. All right, so now we're done with the Barely Blush. We're going to go to our next color, which is going to be Bubble Bath. I'm not even going to clean off the stamp because this was lighter than that was. Yeah, I'm going to kind of cover up that one that we did there. Now you can see this is just a little bit lighter because the really dark color we're going to leave for the little tiny little bits. Let's do it like that. There we go. And now we're going to use the darkest pink for our little squares as well as our little centers of our poinsettias. So for that, I am going to get out my A block again. The A block is retired. So first, let's do those little centers. They don't really line up exactly, but as long as you give that impression, it's going to look fine. I love using the stamps to make my own pattern background. We just have to put a little hint there. And I think that looks good. Let's come in with our little filler piece here. Ooh, my Flirty Flamingo might need a little re-inking. And just see how that works really good to fill in some of that white space. I don't want to put anything there because I think that's where I'm probably actually going to start put my greeting. All right. So that's it for our stamps. There's our background. Now we're going to cut this down. I'm going to cut this down. First, we'll see how it looks as a 4 by 5.5, which is 4 by 5 1/4, which is 1/4 of an inch down from your actual card base. Let's see. Don't have a pink card base, so let's go ahead. We'll cut one out of our two-tone cardstock. So we're going to go 5.5 by 8.5. Scored at 4 1/4. Now remember, when you are scoring the two-tone cardstock, a little bit of a lighter hand works. It's a little bit thinner than your regular cardstock. And let's figure out if we want it on the dark side or the light side. I think I want to go on the light side For some reason, the flowers seem to pop more on that light side. All right, so just putting this in the corner there, just to make sure we have a good crease mark. And let's see how that looks, if we want to cut down even more. I think it looks fine that way. So we will just go ahead now and remove that repositionable tape. And let's put down some seal. Make sure we're opening it up the right way. And then we're going to take, I think I want to use Christmas Joy. So let me grab out my paper snips. I don't know what they call them now. There'll always be paper snips to me. Because we do have a new manufacturer for them. I don't know if you know that. So I'm going to take out the ones that are just for paper. I have some at my desk that are for anything that has glue on them. And then I have these that are just for ribbon. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, remember when you're cutting, you're always moving the paper, not so much the scissors. I am not a big fussy cutter. I don't like fussy cutting. I wish there was a die for everything, but there isn't, so we'll fussy cut and get this. Now I could have taken a punch or any of my die shapes and cut out, but I kind of wanted this to go just a little bit more along the lines, the outline of the actual letters themselves. So let's see how we like that. I think that looks pretty good. To accent this area here, I am going to take our new shimmer brush. This is the Barely Blush. So I'm just going to push here till I get some color in the brush. Now you can see over here that there's a little color in the brush. I'm just going to lightly color in where those words are. And I might have squeezed it too much. There's a lot of liquid coming out now. So you know what? I'm just going to over exaggerate now and really go out so it looks like an on purpose. Okay, so there's that. Let me go ahead and grab some dimensionals. This is not how you get your dimensionals. They have that covering over them. I put packing tape and a little bit of cardstock over it so the backings will stick to the packing tape. And I don't have little paper backings all over the floor, the wash, my clothes, etc. So let's just go ahead and put some of these down. And let's go ahead and we'll pop it. I don't like having all of those in a row there, so I think I'm going to go up here. My Christmas joy. Just because I got really concentrated with those flowers as the background. Okay, let me put this off to the side so we have a little bit more of a clean area going here. And there's our card for today. As that dries, they'll get a little more sparkly. I can see it here in the sunlight. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that there. But we do have just a slight sparkle on there. So there's that card there. Let me see, where did I put my other cards? Oh, here they are. Here. Now, in retrospect, I would have used a much lighter red on there because you really don't see that 'tis the season too well. And I tried to line it up with our white gel pen, but it just made it worse. But that's using mostly those dies. And that background stamp, I didn't do a very good job lining it up. I should have used my stamp positioner. I tried to eyeball it. But there's that using the dies. This is also using some of our enamel effects. I don't know if it's still around, but I have one of those bottles, lasts forever. So I will have this glue forever for these little crystal effects, enamel effects, sorry. And here I haven't finished this one. This is taking all of those dies, little cutout dies, doing them in different colors. So it's not really Christmassy look. And I'm not really sure what words I want to put on there. So since this was featuring the Pretty Poinsettias, I decided not to put any words on it for right now. That way you can see that you can use the set and these dies for something besides just Christmas. All right, guys, there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this. Please give me that thumbs up if you don't mind. Share with your friends on social media. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Most of all, have a great Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.